Hey guys, this is a tutorial for Burn the Witch by Radiohead. Guitar down to drop D. So that's D, A, D, G, B, E, and it's literally just tuning down the low E string to a D. So everything else is exactly the same as standard tuning. So, okay, so let's move on to the introduction. The first chord introduction is just 4-4-4, and the rest is muted. So, and you can try and just bar that with one finger, preferably your index. And the next chord is just 2-2-2, so exactly the same shape, but it's just on the second fret. And this is how it roughly goes. So it goes. And as you can see, I'm adding some palm muting into it, which doesn't have to happen if you can't do it, but it does sound a lot better and closer to the record if you do try and add that in. You're going to have to try and work that palm muting out, so it's more of a... And yeah, so you've done that twice, essentially. Then sort of pick up into the verse. So it's the same shape, so you have, it's 4-4, keep that same finger, press down those 4 or 3 strings on the 4th fret, but then you add your little finger on the 8th fret of the D string. So that, the second D string, sorry. So it should sound like this, as opposed to, sorry. So yeah, instead of doing this in the verse, you'll be doing yeah, so that works exactly the same as the intro, the same rhythm, and you move down to the second fret again, like the same before, but you have your little finger stretched out to the 6th fret, so it's 2nd and 6th fret, so it's 2-2-6, and the first chord was 4-4-8, so it's I do appreciate that it's really hard to stretch out and play along at the same time and sing and everything. It's really strenuous on the hands, but with practice it's perfectly fine. So coming towards the end of the verse, Tom sings the line, "This is a low flying panic attack," which ends around here, so it's, and then you go into like a bridge section, which is essentially just a C sharp chord, which is 4-6-6. But what you need to try and do is mute the 2 strings below it, so the B and E strings, and try and use your index here to try and just touch the low D string at the top, to try and mute that as well, if you can. Try and mute those 3 to just to stop them ringing out, and then you just try and strum it like this. It goes, and that's the next chord, which is 2-4-4, which is a B chord. So it's, and that's the bridge. It's quite a small bridge, and then it goes into the chorus, and that starts with the same first chord of the verse, which is 4-4-8. So it's next one, you slide up to 12. Just do 12x. I believe that's 16. So it's, and then you go back to the final chord of the verse before, which is 2-2-6, and then you will come up to the next chord, which is 9-9-13. So it's I stopped when I slid up to that, but you've got to try not to stop. But when you sing over it as well, it's quite a difficult thing to do, to stretch all the way up here and then back again. So it's that's pretty much it. So you do that once. Sorry, you do it twice. So on the second time, he sings "Burn the Witch" twice. Sorry. So on the first "Burn the Witch," you do it. You do that same thing how I just told you, and the second time you do the same thing. So you just do a slide with your little finger onto 12 from 13. So it'll be 9-9-12. So it starts on 9-9-13, so it's, and then he sings "We Know Where You Live," and you do exactly the same thing as the first time he sung. So you finish the chorus on 9-9-13, so it's, I do believe you hold on to that chord for a little longer when you're actually finishing the chorus, and then you move back to the introduction / verse chords, which is 4-4, 4-2-2-2, and then you will add in the 2-2-6, 4-4-8, sorry, and then 2-2-6 chords as well, before you move on to another type of bridge bit. I'll try and go through this little bit with you. So it's like, red crosses on wooden doors, if you flow, you burn, loose talk around tables, and then the next, after that, you actually put either your middle finger or ring finger on the D string on the 4th fret, and pretty much leave all the other strings open, and you go, and then you go back to the 2-2-6, and then you start the verse, the second verse again. So it's like, so it's and then you continue and do exactly the same thing until you reach the chorus again. And with this chorus, you do, so he sings "Burn the Witch" twice, so you do the same loop twice, then you do "We Know Where You Live," and you do that same loop again, but then he sings "We Know Where You Live" one more time, so you do the entire loop one more time, so it's, and then you finish on this bridge again, so it's, but I actually add my index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string on this second time doing it, so it's, you go back, final chord, which is 4/4/8 again, and you just stay on this chord until the end of the song. So it's. Finish on the 4/4/4, but it usually sounds muted anyway when you do it. But yeah, that's the end of the song. I've seen a lot of other YouTubers teach this in standard tuning, so there's not a problem with that. I just think that it sounds a lot more grungier and maybe more accurate to the record in drop D. So, and it's just my preference really. But yeah, try it out like this. See if you like it. It'll be quite difficult to play at first, but you'll get the hang of it. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Thank you.